All right, guys, what's going on? How's everyone doing today? It is Wednesday, 10:15 a.m. We got fights starting. We have the Salida promotion card. Joshua Pagan is headlining versus Jimenez. We got the Caroline fight. She's fighting Pursoon. If you guys are in the Discord, if you're a JSB insider, I got a couple different announcements. The first one is I posted 3 tickets. So for all the Patreons out there, check your Patreon profile. You'll see the action that I have for today and then also the rest of the week. And if you're a JSB insider who signed up on YouTube, go to the members post section. I just posted my most recent ticket about 20 minutes ago. Now, Sportsbet is only giving me 4 fights for the rest of the week. I'm sure that they're going to open up the betting odds as we get closer towards Friday with the FA Ajagba card. Hopefully, they'll be giving us more fights. As of now, they're only giving me 4, so I gave you a parlay. It's a money line parlay. It pays plus money. I don't, we got Pursoon as the dog. I got her at plus 120. Those odds have evened out. I got Joshua Pagan on there. I did a method of victory parlay. So have a look. If you haven't joined yet, if you're not a JSB insider, it's a couple bucks a month on Patreon and on YouTube. Whichever one you join, you get access to our Discord. The link is pinned right there on the screen. I want to welcome our newest member, Jerry Nicholson. Jerry Nicholson became our newest JSB insider. We're approaching 400, which is awesome. August was our first full month. August, September, October, November, December, January. 6 months in, 400 VIPs. We are a growing community with like-minded individuals, boxing heads. It's not just boxing in the Discord. I get messages all the time. It's MMA. It's all pro sports. We know football just ended, but F1 is starting in March, so I'm launching the F1 channel. I'm launching Major League Baseball in April. I'm launching NRL, so for all you rugby fans here in Australia. I'm launching AFL for all you Aussie Rules fans. So the Discord itself is an evolving community. It's boxing first, but, there's basketball, there's everything. I'm probably going to add an esports channel because a lot of you guys bet on that stuff too. To join the Discord, it is pinned in the comment section. Jerry Nicholson, welcome. If you have any questions on how to navigate the Discord, let me know. Guys, I never even heard of Discord until August. The first time I ever heard of Discord was on my live stream when you guys asked me for 6 months to start one, and I finally listened. Second announcement, guys. We have launched our first merch items. So, come on. Yo. Your boy finally is learning how to use the internet, dude. That's crazy. You have no idea. I finally found a company that could do all the website stuff. They could do all the products. I just had to design the shirt, and it's up on our YouTube channel. So our first 2 merch products are up. I'll show you those real quick. There's a lot to talk about. We got fights already starting, but I don't have a link. I'll find out where the links are. All right. So this is our first piece of merch. This is up on the YouTube channel. This is our JSB Insider 79. This is our first t-shirt. It's a white tee. It's the Swindler 79 white tee. Peep it, cop it. It's up on the YouTube channel. The store is up on the YouTube channel. We have this also in a hoodie. This is called Season 1 Unk. I can't wait till I get mine. This one is dope, dude. So this is the Swindler Unk Season 1 hoodie. We also have the 79. We got the 79 in black as well. I'm just showing you the white because, I think I'm happy about it. And this is going to be an evolving thing. I want this to be part of our community. Some of you guys reached out to me about design ideas. I'm all open. You guys know me. This is a community effort. I think we're going to do I'm going to design a We Up t-shirt. There's coffee mugs. There's stickers. Just basically, I think I'm going to do a Sharp. Like, would you guys wear a shirt that just said Sharp? Or like Mr. Sharp? Something along those lines. I'm going to start taking all your questions now. Ranvar later. Johnny, I have money on Justin Lacey. He's fighting in 15 minutes. Is there a live stream anywhere? Some of these promotions usually have the prelims for free. I'll check for you. You guys were asking me about the Justin versus. I didn't even see this fight, so I didn't tape it. I don't have any idea on who wins this fight. Let me see. I'm gonna go to Salida's Instagram real quick for you though, big dog. It looks like it might be. Is it on DAZN? Salida Cigar Talk. It might be on the zone. I'll check for you. You know what? Let me put my TV on. I got this new. I got it about a month ago. It's the new Sony. Like it's a 68-inch Sony. Forget what it's called. I'm not a tech guy, so I got it. It's dope though. I love watching fights on it. Let's see if it's on DAZN. I'm not excited or crazy about the card. I got to be honest with you. But I do have action on the main and the co-main, Joshua Pagan fight, and the Ver. Dude, going from like a 50-inch screen to a 68, it's crazy. Like, I'm not really a tech guy, but it definitely makes a difference when you're watching film study and doing tape and watching fights. It's crazy. All right, I'm seeing if DAZN has it. I'll let you know. As I'm letting you know, Vayer, I think we're money there. I think we're money. There's a lot to talk about. I'll get back to the breaking news on my Instagram because we got breaking news to talk about. We got fights signed. I told you guys last week about Jai Apataya, and I told you my insider source, boy. I told you guys last week I got messaged by Jim Cambosis on a live stream, and Jim told me about that Jai was fighting Brandon Glanton, and that seems to be true. Okay, we got fights here, boys. So if you have DAZN, that makes me happy. I have to run to the butcher because my girlfriend wants me to make her lamb chops tonight. So we have a South African butcher on the opposite end of town. I'm going to go get some lamb chops, and then I'm going to come back and watch this Pagan Jimenez fight. So if you have DAZN, it's there. King Ty, what's up? LeBron James, LBJ in the house, the GOAT. LBJ, I messaged you back on Patreon, mate. So if you go to your Patreon messages, I answered your questions for you. You need to get some boxing gloves on the shirt. We had to start small, Skeezy. I'm still figuring everything out. I have a lot of great ideas. I'll show you. I have a lot of great ideas, but I had to start small because it's confusing, man. I need help out here. I'm just one dude who's just figuring out life on the go. So like I had, like that's a logo. That's a logo. That one was a logo. Johnny says boxing, JSP, JS. These are all ideas and concepts. Concepts. That's the one that I picked for the first season, the first launch. I like that one, but something happened with they forgot the period at the end. So I was going to use that one, but they forgot I want a period there. But anyway, it's going to evolve, Skeezy. It's going to evolve. Sup, Johnny? Is your take a lean or confident pick on Vayer versus Delphine? Half unit bet today. Half unit bet. I'm leaning on the A side with Vayer. I'm leaning on her youth. She's 37, but she's not that long in the tooth. I'm leaning on the inactivity in Delphine Persoon. And I got Caroline Vayer at plus money as well. I think where she's trending, 2-minute rounds, half unit bet. It's not going to break the bet winner. It's not going to break the bank win or lose. You're welcome, Ranver. Yeah, DAZN, brother. What's up, Jay Sai? Yep. If you have DAZN, watch it. You know what? I'm gonna message our sneaky. I'm gonna message Kyle in our Discord now to see if he's gonna stream the fights. So give me 1 second. So I'm not promising you boys anything, but sometimes one of our mods, one of our sharpshooters in the Discord, Kyle, he will stream the fights. And so I'm going to message. Sometimes you have to remind him. But everybody has their own life, so we'll see. I know he was working yesterday. Do you think the knockout live for Pagan? I don't think so. I think we got lucky last. I took Pagan to knock out Malik Montgomery at plus 500. I think we got lucky on that. I think Jimenez is going to be, he's not going to. Pagan's not a big puncher, man. It's kind of like how lucky are we going to get a kid with a 20% knockout to win ratio? We got lucky on him once. Part of me, I usually roll the dice again. If I hit a big knockout prop, I feel like we got lucky with Pagan stopping Malik Montgomery. Malik Montgomery is legit. He was a legit amateur. He really didn't turn into the pro that some people thought he was going to turn into. Pagan's aggressive. It's just more of a gut feeling. I like Pagan on points. I know the value play is to him win by stoppage. All right, guys. So this is kind of give you a sneak peek into our Discord, and I'm going to ask Kyle to see if he's going to stream the fights. So if you're not in the Discord, you can see all of our channels. We have a bet slip channel, a winning slip, a basketball, American football, NHL hockey, soccer, tennis, boxing, MMA. We have a film study area, so one of my moderators creates a space to talk about specific upcoming fights. At Cal. Any luck on streaming on fight today? Okay. If you're in the Discord, I just messaged Cal here. And we'll see if he responds. There you go. Any luck on streaming the Pagan fight? So sometimes we get the boys to stream it in there. Sometimes we don't. We'll see. I want to go back to the Instagram real quick. Please no knockout Pagan. I'd be surprised if he gets a knockout all of a sudden. Yeah, same. What do you think about the Pagan fight? I forgot it was tonight. Yeah, he's I got him on a couple parlays. I got him on the money line on a long parlay. I got him on points on a method of victory parlay. I think Jimenez will be tough enough to maneuver throughout the entire fight, and I'm leaning on that. Jimenez 18-2. He's durable. So let's talk about, guys, wherever you're tapping in, we're floating between 30 and 50. We're 15 minutes in. Could you like this video? Could you subscribe if you haven't? Message me if you have any questions about the fights today. We got F.A. Ajagba fight card this weekend, and we have big fights in the upcoming weeks. There's no UFC this week, so we won't be doing any UFC. But you could ask away because there's fights coming up as well. This is Carolyn Vieira. This is the Pagan card. This is on DAZN, boys. Okay, this is so. I thought I was looking at mine. I was like, why the hell did I post all of these Salida promotion posts? And then I was like, oh shit, you're on Salida Promotions page. If you guys aren't following me on Insta, it's a good way to link up. Message me on Insta. Be like, hey Johnny, it's so and so from YouTube. I'll follow you back. I use my story as kind of a 24/7 ticker. So if you're ever like, hey, what's going on in boxing? Just go to my Insta story. That's the swindler. We talked about it. Okay, this is Roy Jones and Errol Spence Jr. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. You know, I felt like it might be Roy, it might be Breadman training him. Who knows? Maybe they're creating a super camp for EJ. That's me. That's the live. All right, this is what do you got? I felt like I was kind of salty about this. This is the Ring Magazine. They think they're slick too. This is the Ring Magazine doing a promo for the Ryan Garcia and Mario Barrios fight, and they use footage from a fight that had been discounted because Garcia had been popped for doing steroids. It's so bizarre. It would be like Major League Baseball using a highlight reel, which I think they should because everybody was on steroids in the steroid era. But it would be like, you know, all of a sudden Major League Baseball, who, you know, Barry Bonds isn't in the Hall of Fame, Roger Clemens isn't in the Hall of Fame. These guys, Mark McGwire isn't in these guys should be in the Hall of Fame, right? It'd be like if all of a sudden you saw a Major League Baseball ad and it was Bonds hitting dingers, or like Roger Clemens throwing a no-hitter. So when I'm looking at the promo, I was like, why would you play the promo of Ryan versus Devin? You think you're slick. Like, that shit needs to change, man. Say what you want about it. The fight was a no goddamn contest for failed drug tests. You shouldn't be using that to hype a fight up. It's fucking weird. Where are the ethics? I'm an ethics guy. I'm a big ethics guy. Where are the ethics? All right, so this is in Australia. We broke this on the live stream yesterday. Errol Spence Jr. is coming back to fight Tim Tszyu after a 3-year layoff. The fight was rumored to be in Dallas. It was announced today on ESPN Ring that it's going to be in Australia either June 6th or June 13th, and I am going to this fight 100%. It's going to be, I'm pretty stoked. Fingers crossed both men are healthy. Fingers crossed that thing is in Sydney. I will be at that fight. I've gone to all of Tim Tszyu's fights since he turned pro in Australia in 2016, and it's going to be, I never thought I'd be able to go see an EJ fight. So I'm stoked about this. I'm actually kind of shocked that it's not in Dallas, but this is what the news is breaking, saying that it is in Australia. I broke this on my channel last week. I told you guys that Jim Cambosis was talking to me, messaged me about Jai Apataya versus Brandon Glanton. I told you guys, you know, would you be interested? Glanton 18-3. We featured him on the channel a couple times. The Chris Billum Smith fight was supposed to be his coming out party, and he couldn't handle CBS. CBS showed his veteran savviness and his grittiness and that chin of steel. But flip around a year and a half, and this is for the Zuffa belt. So this is for the Zuffa world title. Jai Apataya versus Brandon Glanton for the Cruiserweight world title, March 8th on Paramount. And shout out, if you guys don't know me, I grew up playing sports. I still play sports. Shout out to a former competitor, Nape. Nape and I played baseball and American football together. We used to have some battles. It's always good to get messages like this from old friends. I'll show you how slim pickings it is for me in terms of what they're giving us to bet on. They're not giving us shit. Some of you guys are getting options for every single fight today. I checked Bet365. Dude, the matchmaking's pretty shit, man. I gotta be honest with you. The Salida matchmaking, I'm not thrilled about it. Yeah, that's all we're getting, boys. That's it. And the Efe Ajagba fight's actually on Monday. So we have fights today, Sunday, and Monday. So slim pickings right now, but what do I always say? We're archaeologists. We're gonna find one. I took Vair 2 days ago when she was at plus 120. It's 50-50 now. Pagan, yeah. I mean, we'll find a victory somewhere. Happy Casino. I have a parlay. Vair, Pagan, Pierce, Shawnee. Nice, man. I have I just don't have the Pierce fight, so I'm not getting offered it. High interest. What's up, brother? Thank you for the support. I really wanted to watch Garrett Rice. He's from my hometown. Is that fight not going on? Did it get canceled? Ring Magazine, DAZN, and Turkey don't really got any morals. To keep it simple, Turkey humiliating Tim Tszyu after being stopped by Bakram. He deleted them. I remember that. Turkey said that he would never. Yeah, I was. I made a comment about that. I did a video about that. If you find on my channel, I was talking shit about Turkey, and I mentioned that. I was like, this guy comes out of nowhere with pockets full of cash, and he's bad mouthing a world champion who gets stopped like a little casual, and then he deleted his comment. Garcia ain't so explosive at 47. He's slower now. I've never been sold on Ryan Garcia. I agree. Grubster, I feel like Gonzalez was hard done by in the Kane fight. J-Rod, I feel like Gonzalez was hard done by in the Kane fight. Are you talking about Andrew Kane or Sugar Kane? Money Meach. Barrio should get this done. His key is defense for Garcia when it comes down to timing. Yeah, same. It's hard for me to, as a boxer, I mean, I'm not a fan. Like, what are we a fan of? Like, for Ryan Garcia's fan, are there many boxing, like, people who know the sport who are fans of Ryan Garcia's style? It seems like Garcia's fans are going to be like, obviously, girls from social media. Barrios is, at times he could be a technician, and he has that, warrior spirit to him. World champion, not a perfect record. How about Goosen? I think that's 3D chess. I think that's brilliant. We know that Goosen was one of the guys that Ryan Garcia really, Garcia's been through. I mean, he's like this is a horrible analogy, but he's kind of like a Airbnb of like coaches. The guy can't keep a coach. And everything that I've heard in interviews, one of the like few coaches that he had actually molded with and had a connection with was Goosen. You guys remember Goosen? He's been in the game forever. He's the one who was screaming at Chico Corrales against that famous fight against Castillo when Chico gets knocked down and he throws his mouthpiece and Goosen puts it back and it reaches over the ring. Well, what are you gonna do now? And Chico goes out and stops him. That same Goosen was the guy that at one time Ryan Garcia really paired with looked up to. So much so, when it was announced that Mario Barrios was pairing with him, Garcia made a comment about it. Garcia was a bit emotionally distraught by the whole thing. Garcia Barrios might go the full route. Right now, Barrios is a big underdog. So systematically, how I like to bet, you guys know my style. You give me any world champion at plus money. I'm not going to be too worried about method of victory. I might play a knockdown prop. I think I'm going to go about this the same way I went about the Josh Kelly and the Brandon Figueroa. I think the odds are wrong. I'm going to take the dog and Barrios on the money line, and on a separate ticket, I'm going to do a knockdown prop. And we're going to roll the dice, and we've been hitting on that's a little sneaky JSB insider play right there. That's a Johnny special. I don't know. I think the Manny fight made Barrios' stock go down for no reason. Garcia is not world class. Yeah, it seems to me the talking heads, if you're not like this, if you don't play the game, like think about this. In the last sort of like 5 years, 10 years, I say 5 years more so, since there's been this turnover of guys, Floyd hanging on, Terence Crawford recently retiring, and then somewhere along the line, social media started playing a factor. Who has the most followers? And then all of a sudden, the boxing media talking sites like the Zone, Ring, MVP came around, and then they started doing clickbait sort of like posts to draw attention for the dollars. And it seems to me like what's getting overlooked with these odds and with a lot of guys who are picking wrong fighters in matchups, I think sometimes they're fooling people on what's really happening inside of the ring. Barrios isn't going to play the social media game. So if he's not going to play the game, why would the Ring magazine or why would the Zone feature any sort of posts and tag him in it when they can tag Ryan and Ryan has multi-millions and Ryan plays that game, and that's just one facet to it. And so I don't see really. I mean, did you watch the Garcia versus Raleigh Romero fight? People are going to say Barrios got stopped against Gervonta. It was a long time ago. Barrios is a big boy. He should have never came down that far. Barrios 6 feet tall, 72-inch reach. Ryan's 5'8". They list him at 5'8.5", but he's not. He's small. I think Barrios' technique, his boxing acumen, I think his length, his size, I think he's going to make easy work of Garcia. As long as you don't hook with the hooker. I want Garcia to win, but I just don't trust. See, I don't. I want Garcia to retire, never being a world champion. Look, man, I played competitive sports my whole life. I've competed against drug cheats my whole life. And then after I stopped playing at whenever I was done at a high level playing baseball, I started coaching in a strength and conditioning health club for the general population. So we had like our client in basically it's called the CBD, the Central Business District, the Finance District of Sydney, which is one of the wealthiest cities in the world. So I'm working at a health club and my clients, and still are, I just work at my gym now in my house, but our CEOs, Fortune 500 CEOs, people who have their own jets. So we're in this place coaching, and the whole staff are like 30 other strength coaches. And so the way I operate is I'm not a drug user. I don't do steroids. I'm not going out cheating on my girl. I live my life morally, right? So I go from a high-level sports career dealing with the guys that I know are taking performance-enhancing drugs to get an edge to now working in this gym where almost every guy is on steroids, and they're telling their clients that they're not, and they're selling steroids too. And it's kind of, so for me, the Ryan Garcia thing, the blatant disrespect of the sport, the blatant disrespect of the weight cut, the blatant disrespect of the ethics of the game in a sport such as boxing where people could die in it. When that happened, I was like, I hope he never becomes a world champion. But that's just me. What happened to Barrios? He used to be world level when he beat Ugas. Now he's one of the worst champions. What happened to, I mean, he's still a world champion, mate. I think some fighters, you don't think he's going to be up for this fight. They pair him with he goes from like a Manny Pacquiao fight to like an Abel Ramos fight to an Ugas fight you better believe you're going to see the best version of him against Garcia. That's all I'm going to say. And if you like Barrios, I'm putting my bet in. I'm actually going to wait because I think the social media aspect, the Drake aspect, I think there's going to be massive money coming in on Ryan as we get closer and closer. So I'm going to wait and watch those Barrios odds go up, up, and up, and up. And then I'm going to pull the trigger. Barrios has 2 draws in his last 2 fights and thought Pac beat him. But now watch it back. The other thing is DAZN won't promote PBC fighters like that, even if they headline ring cards. I think Garcia will win if he takes. That's a big if. Yeah, I don't think Garcia is a good boxer though. See, my problem with Ryan Garcia, multiple problems. I talked about the steroids and the drug tests. It's when you watch him as an amateur. When you watch tape, watch some of Ryan's last amateur fights. The tapes are on YouTube. And then watch him against Raleigh. Watch him against Luke Campbell. He hasn't evolved at all. This is a guy who stopped developing skills in the amateurs. Why? Because everybody around him said that he has hand speed and then he has a world-class left hook. So if everybody is telling you that you have world-class hand speed and a world-class left hook, some people, if they don't have the right people around them, will be like, you know what? I don't need to drill my footwork. I don't need to drill setups. I don't need to drill feints. I don't need to fight off my back foot. I don't need to work on my lateral movement. And he didn't. So when I look at Ryan Garcia, I look at an undeveloped fighter. I look at a guy who stopped developing, who fell into that sort of trick of believing the hype. And you see this, look, I mean, Deontay Wilder is a little bit of a different example because he picked up boxing late. You know, it's well documented. You know, he picked up boxing in his late teens, early 20s, went to the Olympics, won a bronze medal after only boxing for a few years. So he has an excuse. But even with him, his backhand was just atomic. So why would you develop great feet? Why would you put thousands of hours? I would, personally. And obviously, most fighters do. But certain fighters don't. And because of that, you always have to question that fighter's discipline. You always have to question that fighter's psyche. You always have to question that fighter's intentions. And the last thing I will ever do is believe that Ryan Garcia has all of those boxes switched on. I don't think he does. I don't think he does. I think he's there's a lot of variables that have to fall in line for Garcia to beat Barrios. I lost $26,000 on Devin. Then I find out, bro, that would make me sick. And you know damn well the bookies and the books don't give us our money back. I didn't lose $26,000, but I lost a lot of money when Frankie Rodriguez came to the UK and put belt to ass against Galal Yafai. And I'm live streaming that fight. In the 10th round, I said, this is up on my channel. I said, I'm going to be very interested to see this post-fight urine test because it looks to me that Frankie Rod is on something. His energy in the 10th was equal to the first. His output, his pressure. And sure enough, we lose the fight. Frankie Rod wins. 4 weeks later, it comes out that he pissed fucking hot. Did we get our money back? Hell no. This is Ryan's 4th shot at the title. I hope he don't get it. How do you get a world title shot after losing to Rolly Romero? Ryan hasn't won since then. Like, what are we doing? How's he getting a world title shot? We know how. Didn't think you would pick Barrios over Garcia. Garcia's speed will be the difference, in my opinion. I don't think so. You've heard my take on this. But then again, Skeezy, so many people didn't think I'd pick Josh. So many people didn't think I'd pick Brandon. So many people didn't think I'd pick J-Rod. I mean, I'm just saying what I see. When are we going to talk? Bro, I'm kind of torn, Sean. You know I'm a Bilal Fawaz guy. You know we feature Bilal on the channel. I'm torn on this. I'm thinking I'm right now on Ishmael. Because look, we're not in this to. I'm not a fan of fighters. We're not in this to fucking fanboy. We're in this to win money. We're in this for you to listen to me, and you know whether you agree with me or not. I tell you what I see. I just don't know if Bilal Fawaz is on that level. I rate Ishmael Davis, dude. Like he could operate in there, and he operates with a certain pace. He operates at a certain level. We've seen it before. He doesn't have a perfect record. My thing with Bilal Fawaz is that I think the story is great. You know, the win against Junaid Boston. The first fight I thought he won. The second fight he clearly won. But Junaid Boston, a 21, 22-year-old kid, prospect, 23, something along those lines, has a lot of shine. Ishmael Davis is seasoned. There's some seasoning on that game. There's some seasoning on that problem he brings into the ring. So I'll let you know, but I'm not 100. I'm like, right now I'm 60-40 Ishmael. If the referee doesn't let Ryan turn his back, he loses easily. Will we get a shell shock Garcia like the Raleigh fight, no punch output? Then we'll see Barrios take him the distance and win. Yeah, it's have you guys ever watched Ryan Garcia fight and you're like, wow, that's a good boxer? I'm not trying to sound. He has a left hook. He has hand speed. It's not like that style he has is very one dimensional. We're seeing this over and over, guys, and I blame this on coaching. This is the modern era's biggest downfall right now, is that fighters have stopped developing a overall skilled game plan, right? Think about how many, like, back in the day, you would drill, spar, drill, road work. Like, there was a system. You could see guys now becoming world champions with clear holes in their game. Now, is that the fighter's fault? Is that the coach's fault? Is it Instagram's fault? We got to blame somebody. But I think Mario Barrios has the more traditional, well-rounded skill set, and I take that well-rounded boxing skill set over a one-dimensional fighter anytime. I don't care if he has speed. I take timing over speed any day of the week. Vair up to -135. Glad I got her at +120. I'm glad I got her at +120. A weem away, a weem away. Ooh. Yeah, Ryan is operating at 20. He is, man, and that's probably the biggest frustration for me. I'm probably deep down inside, I'm probably a Ryan Garcia fan. But my personality, how I'm wired, it's like, you guys know I'm a coach, I'm a teacher first. People hire. Shout out to Kane McInerney, by the way. Hold up. Shout out to Kane. I almost forgot to shout out my boy Sugar Cane McInerney. This was our first fight camp working together. I'm a strength and conditioning coach for over 10 years. I've had clients who fought in the UFC. I've worked with pro fighters before. This is my first camp working with Kane, and he's in a tournament. It's an amateur tournament to get into the Commonwealth Games, and he just won. It's kind of a round robin tournament. He was fighting Frank Z in a fight in which the kid he was fighting 5-6 years older than him. He's a pro. The dude he was fighting is a 5-0 pro with 5 knockouts. Here we go.
And your winner today goes to Red Corner,
Shout out to Kane. Kane's a JSB insider. He's in our Discord. He's on the channel. Kane McInerney, big win over a good fighter. And I definitely saw improvements in your physicality. That's Johnny Stofko strength training right there, baby. I can't wait to work more camps with you, brother. Did you get his O back? I'd have to check. Ryan output is way lower, 47. Yeah, I posted a video, and he's stiff, man, Julius. He's stiff. Like, the way he operates, like, there's a certain fluidity you get through, like, constantly drilling. I did this video of Mario Barrios shadowboxing and then Ryan Garcia shadowboxing. And to the layman, it might just look like two guys shadowboxing. But what I'm looking at is, like, fluidity, mobility, and movement, all that stuff. And Ryan, to me, has always just looked stiff. It's like, bro, do yoga, do some mobility, work on your dexterity. And all that shit matters, man. I'm torn with Vair in person. Only 3.5 years jab in person is much more experience. Bumgarner. Don't be torn, Brandon. Go with your instinct. Go with your instinct. Go with your gut. To be honest, there's other fighters deserving a shot. They pick Barrios because his weakest shot. And Garcia sells once he beats him. You mean there's other fighters deserving a shot to fight Mario? Mario's the champion. They pick Garcia, you mean? But I think Stanionis beats Like if I would take Stanionis over Barrios. I think Stanionis beats Garcia. 47 is one of these divisions we just forgot about. You know what I mean? Chiron left, Bud left, and then it's just kind of like. And since 54 is so sort of heavy now, 47 just kind of like we saw what happened to Brian Norman Jr. So you got Dev, and we know what's happening, the UK with the Paddy Donovan fight. And we know Liam Paro is getting a chance to fight Crocker. And I don't think Paro is fit for 147, man. I thought Liam looked outgunned against David Pepot, a guy with one knockout. Liam Paro had to go life and death with David Pepot and almost got stopped. And I feel the reason why he struggled with Pepot was the 7-pound jump. Pepot was massive, or is Liam just that small? You know what I'm saying? I think Liam is an in-betweener. I think he was a bit too big for 40. He looked tiny against Pepot at 47. Let's say Liam Paro beats Crocker. So you have Paro, Barrios, and Garcia have to fight Raleigh and Devin. I mean, you know what we're going to see. I want to see the boys from 40 come up to 47. I want to see Gary Antoine Russell after he fights Andy Hiroka. I could see Gary Antoine Russell moving up to 47. Shakur. Shakur was talking about going up to 47. It's going to be interesting the next 24 months. I can't wait for the Lee Wood fight. That's coming up. Lee Wood versus Warrington. We last saw Lee Wood against Anthony Kakachi. He was a bit too small for that fight, and Kakachi did what Kakachi does. And Warrington, a guy that we thought was done, Bronco Lara stoppage. But, he's coming off a win. I mean, is Warrington kind of like Amir Khan 2.0? I don't know. It's a tough one to predict. There's a lot of vitriol behind it, too. Ryan has no feet, no inside game. Very concerned. 100%, man. It's crazy that he's fighting for world titles with this limited arsenal. He's weak. He doesn't like getting hit to the body. He doesn't like fighting into the clinch. His feet are terrible. No lateral movement. No hiding his setups. He just wants you to stand there while he throws his hook. That's it. That. And then he just does it. That's all he does. And he gets on this. It's like, bro, come on, man. What's up, Junior? Garcia quit against Tank. But Tank. The way I'm salty about Garcia in terms of not developing into his full potential, I have that same saltiness towards Tank. Because a lot of guys who come to my channel will call me a Tank hater. I'm not a Tank hater. He just frustrates me with robbing us, the boxing fans, of probably 2 to 3 years of world-class fights because he's that good. But we know how tough the mental game is, and he just wasn't able to keep it together. But when he's in that ring, dude, there's nobody on this planet who's not watching a Tank fight. Blame Floyd, no combination punches, one punch at a time. But Floyd's style, man, you can't just say that. You can't That's a wild way to minimize Floyd's game. You can't just minimize his generational control of range and distance. You can't minimize his shoulder roll, Philly shell defense, his catch and countering, his hand speed. What are you talking about, dude? He was a boxer puncher when he was Pretty Boy Floyd. Look, if I were to blame Floyd, it would be the protecting of the O narrative. It would be sort of like the maneuvering of who do I fight next. That's what I would say. But to blame Floyd about anything he did in the ring is absolutely, don't take offense to this, wild, mate. I will blame Floyd, but it's not what he did in the ring. It's how he operated outside of the ring. And then once he retired, that kind of seeped into the younger generation of, oh shit, I better not lose. I can't lose. I can't fight this guy now because he's a tough fight. Like that sort of thing. I believe Ishmael Davis is just a level above him. I do too, Gaio. And about Barrios versus Garcia, I 100% think Barrios lost his last 2 fights and they gave both fights a draw. Pac and Abel. Abel Ramos. Interesting one for me. Abel Ramos is an interesting cat for me. Because Abel Ramos is the one who began my no bet list for the Figgies. The Abel Ramos-Omar fight. But Brandon redeemed the brothers Figueroa. Brandon redeemed us, and now we all still good. Where is the live stream from the undercard? Maybe go to DAZN's YouTube. Let me check. I'll post it here. I'll ride with her. I'll slide with her. Flow some dogs from the LBC. All the dogs want to kick it with me. Cause I run with Warren G. Blaze the weed, Busters and G. I'm not seeing it. They said yeah. I don't see any live stream scheduled for DAZN or Salida. Salida promotion fight card is starting on DAZN's app in 1 hour. Only thing is Davis is very active. Maybe he might be overworked and burn out. Me too, Brandon. You said it yourself. Every fighter has a day or so. You said it yourself, player. Every fighter has a day off. So did Barrios have a day off. Yeah. Look, I don't know. A lot of you guys probably already do this. But if you're betting on boxing and you're not doing what I'm about to say, I suggest you do it. Watch the media sort of like promotional promo videos they do. They like on YouTube, whatever promo, if it's Ring, if it's DAZN, they're going to have a YouTube channel, and then they're going to have like a Barrios Garcia sort of like behind the scenes. Watch that stuff. Because sometimes, guys, getting to know the day-to-day of a fighter, especially leading up to fight night, how they're thinking. A lot of times they'll do these little interviews and it'll show them getting ready for a spar, and then the fighter will talk about what he's thinking. A lot of times it's that stuff that I see that sometimes leans me a specific way with who I'm going to bet on. It's like watching fight tape is just one very small element of the game. If you really want to win consistently in betting on boxing, there's a lot of other variables that you should be like. The psychology of the sport is equally as important than the physicality of the sport. So you want to look at like who's he training with, what was, you want to see what their last fights look like, but what sort of business moves has he made? Did he change camps? Did he change coaches? Try to find their sparring partners. If you really want to go heavy on a fighter, follow the Instagram, see if they're active. There's so many little things to learn about these guys. Popo was a huge guy on the weight. Popo is, yeah, he was, and you could see he was massive. He was craftier than I thought too. He had Pero in trouble. I thought that fight was gonna get stopped for that massive swelling, the hematoma. Popo has a win over Bilal Jikatu, who is now highly ranked at 60. Now, look, I left the fight like, damn. After that fight, I was like, David Popo, don't judge him by his knockout to win ratio. This dude is crafty in there. And the matchmaking style, no wonder they put their hand up to fight Pero. And they were talking trash all week. And, looking back, I'm like, damn, they must have saw something. And they did. It was a close fight. I thought it could have been a draw. Paro beats Crocker, in my opinion. I also thought Donovan beat Crocker. So did I at Winner's Circle. And this was sort of and I lost money on that fight. And it was disappointing because you kind of wish that you knew what the judges were looking for. You can't judge a fight. You have to, if it's a 12-rounder, a fight is scored and judged in 12 separate games. You know what I mean? There are 12 separate games being played if it goes the distance in an entire 12-round fight. You can't just judge the fight on big moments. And that's where sometimes, it gets really confusing because there were two big moments. The only two moments Crocker had when he walked Donovan on to the first knockdown, which was brutal, I think, in the first round. And then he landed the same exact punch, I think, in the third. We can pull that up. It was either the first and third, second and fourth, early. But other than those big knockdowns, Donovan controlled the entire fight. And Crocker fought so negatively on the ropes. Granted, it was his game plan, but he wasn't punching. He wasn't landing. He was being outworked. And when they gave it to Crocker, it just kind of makes you think like, wow, these guys are looking at big moments instead of properly judging it in 12 individual fights. Because that's what each round is. Also has Ryan that big of a favorite. It's crazy. It's crazy he's that big of a favorite. What does Barrios excel in? More well-rounded, but I feel that attribute bars are only feel. Well, since boxing, what does he excel in? Sometimes a more well-rounded fight. Usually, I'm always going to bet the more well-rounded fighter. What does he excel in? Boxing is more than just throwing punches and not getting hit or getting hit. It's setups, it's feints, it's using the entire ring, it's controlling, managing distance, range. Barrios does all of that way better. Fighting on the inside, way better. Output, way better. And so Davis has no conditioning. We're talking about the Bilal Fawaz fight. Yeah, so this is a talking point. I have to. It's tough for me to fast forward even a week, guys, but I appreciate the questions. My mindset is solely focused on. No one's even asked about Josh Pagan and Jimenez, but we have that fights now, and then we have F.A. Ajagba versus Charles Martin this weekend. In terms of the tape I've done and stuff, I'm not gonna start taping. I don't start taping and really breaking down and coming to terms with where I'm putting my money at until that week, until all the other fights of the prior week has ended. I think since Caroline is Eddie Hearn's fighters, and at least one judge is going to vote crazy. Hopefully Delphine will fight. Yeah, that was 6 years ago, Guns. She fought Katie 6 years ago in a fight that a lot of people say she won. This would be DAZN, though not PBC, which is interesting. They say 80% of a fight. It is, man. If you rewatch go watch Nick Ball, Brandon Figueroa from the 7th round onwards, and fast forward the round and just segment the corner work and watch Nick Ball's nonverbal communication. Watch his body language. Watch his eyes. He looked to me that either he was concussed or he was searching for answers. And he looked confused in the corner. And then go watch the work that Coach Robles did with Brandon in between rounds. What he was telling him, the sort of connection. That's all mental. A lot of that stuff, though, gets achieved during your fight prep. By the time the fight is happening in real time, a lot of it is going to be technical sort of tips and the psychological connection and the trust in coach and fighter that needed to already have taken place prior. And that was a bit. I feel Brandon doesn't beat Ball without Coach Robles. And that's why I like the Joey Gonzalez fight. Guys, that Joey Gonzalez fight was real close, but that was his first camp with Manny. And it was one of the big reasons why I took Brandon in this fight is because he was going to get a second full camp. And at that level, man, game planning, execution. And this is also another talking point I've already told you guys. Goosen is coaching Mario Barrios now. Goosen's the guy who brought up Chico Corrales. Legendary guy. Game plans, execution, boxing mind through the roof. And this is the guy who brought up Ryan Garcia. He knows everything about Garcia. And Garcia commented on it last week. He was salty about that. He said that was dirty work. He was like, that's like, I know there's no loyalty in boxing, but that's dirty work, Goose, that you're training Mario for this fight. Shadow boxing my room, mode. Guys, I got to run. Good luck on the fights. We got, I took Carolyn Vair on the money line. I took Carolyn Vair on points. I took Joshua Pagan on the money line. I took Joshua Pagan on points. If you're a JSB insider, if you're a Patreon, all of my bets are posted. I post all of my bets. All my receipts are on the YouTube channel. To get all of our bets and join our Discord, We're approaching 400 Johnny Says Boxing VIPs. It's a pro betting community. Click the link that's pinned in the comment section. It's a couple bucks a month. And when you join, I welcome you.